Hi everybody, I am Susan Thomas, and I had my very first seizure when I was 2 years old. They put me on phenobarbital, and the seizures seemed to go away. I didn't have any trouble until I hit puberty. And then my whole life, turned upside down, and I was having seizures all the time. And it took a long time. It took years to find control. And this new video series I am putting together is called Ask an Epileptic. If you've ever had questions about epilepsy, about seizures, what this is in general, feel free to ask. Don't worry about if it's rude or not, just ask. I will do my best to answer these questions. And today I thought I'd start with a question I got a lot when I was growing up. And that is, what is it like to have a seizure? So I'm going to do my best to answer that question today. If you have any other questions about epilepsy, leave them in the comments and I will try and make one of my future videos about your question. But today's question is, what's it like to have a seizure? And before I go into that, I just want to go and explain to you all that every epileptic is different. Some have generalized epilepsy, some have focalized epilepsy. I have generalized. What that means is that I would never be eligible for, say, brain surgery to remove the problem of my epilepsy because my entire brain is the problem. I'd need a brain transplant, and you can't really do that. So generalized epilepsy, that means generalized epileptics are not eligible for surgery or any of those things. We found that out after I had my testing done. And so our best hope of control is medication. And I did find control with Keppra. And it has been wonderful. I don't even have side effects from this medication. This medication is a godsend for me. Because of it, I have been seizure-free for 8 or 9 years now. And I can only pray that other epileptics like me find this same control. But I have had tonic-clonics, I've had partial seizures, petit mals, absence seizures, behavioral seizures, what have you. I've had all kinds of seizures. But the main seizure that I have had the most of are tonic-clonics or grand mal seizures. And the question, what's it like to have a seizure, is really kind of hard to answer, because one of the things that is affected when someone has a seizure is your memory. So for someone like me who has a grand mal or tonic-clonic, those are those big seizures you see on television shows and in the movies. It's really hard to tell you what that feels like because I don't remember. I've checked out. I'm unconscious during the seizure. So I'm going to do my best to explain it from my point of view. Before the seizure starts, I do receive warning signs. For some, they might get a burning smell or some sort of aura. Me, my eyes cross like crazy before I have a seizure. But here's the catch. Even though this is warning me that a seizure is coming, I'm too far gone into that process to tell someone, to warn someone that I'm about to have a seizure. So for me, the auras don't do much good. For others, they do a lot of good, and they are able to warn people. But for me, in my own personal epilepsy experience and journey, they don't do much at all. Other than let me know, and even then, I am not thinking clearly enough to be able to take the appropriate steps for my safety. Thankfully, I've never been severely injured more than a extremely sprained ankle. So my eyes will start crossing like crazy. And then it's like I lose time. I wake up on the floor after maybe I was peacefully eating my lunch or watching a movie, and all of a sudden I'm on the floor. I can't figure out how I got on the floor. I'm looking around trying to figure out why my family members are staring at me. Some cases, why paramedics are staring at me. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Why am I on the floor? Why are people staring at me? And then it's like someone hits this button inside of me that releases every kind of emotion you can imagine. I suddenly feel angry, sad, happy, all of it, all at once. So I am crying, I'm laughing, I'm wanting to scream my head off because all of these emotions just let loose like a flood and I can't stop it. And it's just, I go crazy. And they're trying to ask me questions about whether I took medication. Do I have a doctor? Is this normal for me? And I'm just sitting there trying to figure out how to get my emotions to calm down so I can answer. I might be able to get out an answer or two, but honestly, there's so much going on with me neurologically and emotionally that it is almost impossible for me to answer those questions. Now, here's the thing. The majority of epileptics hate it when you call 911 and take us to the hospital because they can't do much. What's going to happen is we're going to sit there for 5-6 hours only to have them send us home, say, go call your doctor, let them know what happened, and decide what to do for you. That's about the extent of the experience. So most epileptics prefer it if you would just call a loved one and let that loved one come and pick them up and take them home. Because then we can work on the process of recovery and it's not postponed 5 or 6 hours. Because after a seizure, you are exhausted. Your muscles, your brain has all been working extra hard, malfunctioning, going crazy. So you're absolutely exhausted. And it is not at all unusual to sleep for 18 to 48 hours afterwards because you were just so tired. You have to recover after a seizure. So you sleep. And then after you've recovered, you can go call your doctor, let them know what happened. Or a loved one will call the doctor for you and schedule an appointment so they can decide what actions need to be taken. So honestly, what does it feel like to have the actual seizure? I can't really tell you that because I'm kind of unconscious. I'm not neurologically with it. My brain is malfunctioning and I can't really tell you exactly what it's like in those moments that I'm having a seizure. But I can tell you all about that aftermath. And that aftermath, I have to tell you, it's a doozy. You don't know where you are. You don't know why you're on the floor. You don't know why people are staring at you. You don't know why your emotions are going crazy. And all of these, you're plain exhausted and need nothing but sleep. But all of this is mild compared to some other people. Some people never wake up from that seizure. Some people die from that seizure. There was someone in an epilepsy support group who lost their 2-year-old child to a seizure. So they're not at all harmless. They can be very deadly if you never find control, if left unchecked, if it happens in the wrong place. I've heard of instances where someone has a breakthrough seizures after 10 years while driving on the road and dying in a car accident because they had a seizure and they hadn't had one in years. They thought they were safe. So it's a very deadly thing, and it actually kills, epilepsy actually kills more people than cancer, which is insane. Yes, save the tatas, but let's also work on saving the brain too. So all I ask for you is, first of all, I am plunging into my writing career, which means that I am working on writing my story into a novel form so I can get it out there and share it with people. But my main goal behind this is to spread awareness about epilepsy. So if you want more information on epilepsy, what it's like to be an epileptic, or have any questions, feel free to follow or like me on social media, check out my blog, and please share this video so that you can help spread awareness of what epilepsy is and the severeness of it, and so other people can get their questions answered as well. I have to go because my baby daughter's going crazy, and my husband's busy moving my daughter into my 4-year-old son's room so that I can sleep train our 6-month-old. So if you're an epileptic, just let that be a sign that just because you're epileptic doesn't mean you can't have healthy pregnancies. It can happen. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I hope to be able to of some use to you with information towards epilepsy. Ask me any question. I will not get offended. and have a blessed weekend.